Good afternoon, good morning, and good day. It's your boy Big Buppo once again, and here we go. Here it is. It's Elden Ring. It's patch 1.10, and this build is a bit of a monster. With the recent patch and with the recent changes that they decided to make, a lot of the changes. This fight pretty much shows perfectly what From Software has done to the state of their game. As you can see, connection and connectivity is kind of stinky right now. Kind of awful. And yeah, I think the footage that you're seeing on screen right now kind of speaks for itself. I don't know what to say or do about this. I don't know how I feel about this. I mean, I do know how I feel. It's awful. It's terrible. No idea how I even won that duel, but yeah, they broke the game in so many ways. And the point of this build is to kind of showcase that a little bit. So, what is this build? Well, the concept is an Orcish warlord, the Orcish King, the Orc King, you know, the Conqueror, who uses a great axe, and it's a roar build. I've done a roar build before. I've done a roar build, like my Guts cosplay type build, right? Where it relies on the axe. And as you can see here, Godfrey axe, actually good now, actually kind of sweet now. That stomp into the, like the R2 stomp roll catch is kind of incredible because now that is almost like a guaranteed stun every single time. So those two hits will usually connect pretty severely and pretty intensely. I am very, very much enjoying this. Colossals actually matter now because you can trade with them. You take less damage when you have a hyper armor, so that's incredible for Colossals. And poise is kind of just the dictation of your hyper armor now. So that's kind of how fights will usually go with this when they go well. Now, I did not include the losses in this video because the video would have just been way too incredibly long, and I had too many wins. I had just enough wins. To make a solid 20-minute video, like hitting my mark right there as I usually do. If I would have kept in the losses, we would have had maybe, you know, 5 extra minutes of losses. Almost 10. I played this build a lot. I went over my normal recording time because I was having a lot of fun with it. It's interesting. It's neat. It makes Colossals feel worth it, but at the same time, they're still Colossals. They're still slow. They're still very schmeedy, but slow and very exploitable. So I'll tell you guys right now how to beat this build. Just play Dark Souls 3. Be passive, hit with a light weapon. You know, use this version of the game's Murky Hand Scythe, which is basically the Clean Rot Rapier. And harass. That's what you have to do. That's how you beat this build. There's no other ifs, ands, or buts. There's no other way about it. It just is what it is. Am I a fan of the current state of the game? Not really. I mean, part of me is because I'm not against all the changes that they've made. I do like hyper armor. I did enjoy Dark Souls 3. I did not enjoy the passivity in its combat. And these fights, you know, people are still playing relatively not too passive, but as you can see here, like, you know, it's all about baiting and switching and trading with that hyper armor. So trades are back, hyper armor is back. I can live with that. What I can't live with is the horrible connectivity issues, the sheer amount of glitches that have come out. Like a glitch video since this patch has come out every single day practically, or at least it feels like we get 2-3 a week. Also based Godfrey axe, 10 out of 10. Look at that hyper armor trade. Look at that. Incredible. But yeah, see, this is what I mean by, like, passivity. If you hit first, you lose. That roll catches very nicely. And look, I get stunned. I get stunned off that. There was nothing I could do. I mean, I could have tried rolling away, but I think the roar might have still gotten. So, GG. Okay, looks like we did keep a loss or two, because that was a good fight. Looks like I don't remember what I did with this footage, but there's one thing I do know. I'm keeping it a little bit of a surprise, so if you're still watching, you're going to see that things kind of change up a little bit through the video, and this fight is kind of a hint to that, based on what my opponent is using. But yeah, this is the Orcish King. The lore idea that I had behind it has less to do with Elden Ring and more to do with, I just wanted to make a cool orc conqueror. I just wanted to make a cool Orc Conqueror who fights really well. But yeah, as you can see, the build's not perfect. There are still things that can be easily exploited from it, and that is essentially getting hit by quicker weapons. Definitely, like it's a colossal. It's a colossal. You're gonna deal with colossal things. This guy's pretty cool. He's using the kind of like a counter hit build. You don't see that a lot. Really solid against colossals because there's a lot of end lag on the attacks, or at least on the Godfrey axe. So this might be an interesting counter for Godfrey axe. But yeah, this guy's build is interesting. I kind of liked it. I've always wanted to run a Great Spear, Great Shield build, and this might have inspired me to try that. But yeah, the roll catch on that R2, on that Roar R2 is so good. And the Highland Axe with the Roar Medallion and with this on a Strength build is just such nasty damage. I kind of want to try it on invasions. I feel like this build could do well in invasions. I remember trying it a few and won a few, but I didn't like dedicate time. So you may see an invasion video on this build in the future and see how much the Orcish King will conquer out in the world as an invader. Who knows? I might even invade your world if you're on PC. We'll see. I have to set a few things up on him to actually get into invasions, but right now we're just going to be doing duels for a bit. And as you can see, this guy's got a bit more of a meta setup. Running the Storm Stomp, using the Scythe. I mean, Scythe isn't that meta, but the armor he's wearing's got some pretty solid poise, which will give him some decent hyper armor. But yeah, no, you can just trade. You can just trade for free with this, and that's kind of what I like about it. It seems a little brain dead, but I mean, you know, it's a colossal. You're not supposed to be. It's not an intelligence build, even though intelligence builds are just cosplaying as people with intelligence. Ooh, shots fired. No, I'm goofing. I'm gaffing. You know, Buppo, he just says silly little things because he's a silly little guy. I'm gonna showcase a mage build in a few days, weeks. We'll see. The upload schedule's a little scrunkly dunkly as of late, but you'll see. I've got some build ideas. I've got a lot of build ideas actually. Oh, speaking of fun build ideas, you guys may have seen the last video that came up on the channel. It is a new series I started called Buppo's Bizarre Invasions. I've been doing a lot of thinking, and honestly, it might be replacing Recusant Revelries, because Recusant Revelries is a very fun challenge run, but it's intense. It's intense and a lot harder to edit, and given my schedule and time right now, I don't even know if I can do that anymore. But making a quick little compilation of just random invasions with random little builds, that's fun. And it adds up technically to the same type of content anyway, so when I do live stream invasions, you guys can see it there. And then we're going to take those invasions, make a little compilation, and it's just going to be called Buppo's Bizarre Invasions. I've got, I don't know why, but I'm obsessed with the jar head right now and using jars. So the next video of Buppo's Bizarre Invasions is also a jar-headed build, but not all of them will be. It's all going to be different character concepts. There might be another return of the Pumpkin King, but he's going to be part of the series this time. And yeah, that's kind of the direction the channel is heading in right now. Again, I'm not saying I'm quitting Recusant Revelries entirely, but I am saying those videos are harder to make and take more time, and it's time that I don't have because of work, because of family, because of the wedding that's going to happen. Like, there's a lot going on in my life right now, and also, I'm going to be honest with you guys, Baldur's Gate 3. I bought it for my fiance as her birthday gift. She has been enjoying it. She's been playing on my main account, and because of that, everyone's been asking me, Buppo, how are you enjoying Baldur's Gate 3? I see you have a few hours on it. I see you've been playing it a lot. Do you like it? And I'm like, no, I have never played it. I don't know if it's any good, was the original answer, until one of my buddies, close friend, haven't heard from him in a little bit, reaches out to me and goes, bro, it's got multiplayer. You want to play with me? And I didn't know it had multiplayer. I didn't know that game had multiplayer. And doesn't this fit the vibe? The Orc King himself? Yeah, Baldur's Gate, man. I tried it with my buddy. I did the multiplayer. We even role-played our characters as we're going through the story. And it's Dungeons & Dragons. It's Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. And I like D&D 5th edition, so I had fun. I'm having a lot of fun. I'm going to be playing that, so that's what my free time's going to be going to. So, like, I'm gonna make sure videos still come out. I'm gonna make sure this channel doesn't die. Like, you're still gonna get the usual, at least minimum 1 video a week. But it might be 1 video a week for a little while. Even though I've got a lot, I've got like 9 different videos in backlogs and projects right now, all patch 1.10. I've got so many videos at the ready that are almost finished. I just need to change a few things, do some finishing touches. A lot of them are halfway done too, but you know, the videos are there. It's ready. And yeah, that's the future of the channel. We're just getting a little slowed down because of Baldur's Gate. And look, you may have noticed I switch weapons. Well, the Conqueror, this is the second concept I had for him. So he has the Godfrey axe, which is what he would have taken from slaying Godfrey as a reward. But this also fits the concept of like an Orcish King, a warlord, a commander, a leader. So why not use the commander's standard, which will give him a buff and rally his troops, right? So like character concept-wise, that works. And then the grafted sword. Well, in Game of Thrones, and this is what the sword is based off of George R.R. Martin, who helped write the story for Elden Ring. And look how good that build is. It's so stinky. It's so ridiculous. But some of you may have been like, okay, let me explain the concept, and then I'll tell you why I use this sword. So, the throne itself in Game of Thrones is made of the swords of the different leaders that had been conquered, and that had just been added to the chair, and then it built itself into a giant amalgamation of swords. Also, look at that true combo. The crouch poke with the colossal sword into the halberd poke is a true combo. That is actually unavoidable. And it's such crazy amounts of damage with the commander's buff and the grafted buff. Absolutely disgusting. But that's the concept with this orc sword. I just thought it was the most orcish thing ever to make a sword out of all the swords of the fallen leaders and warriors that he's bested in battle. So, just crazy concept. And the Radahn armor just looks so good for this. Like a tattered cape of a like war general, like a warlord king, with the bejeweled crowns on his head. And in this game, like the blood red jewels like that, you make them through like torturing and slash like killing. So those blood gems are a thing. You'll notice on the staff of the guilty, it's basically like a little squirrel with like a blood gem growing out of it. Just look it up. Look at the staff of the guilty. Look at it up close, and you'll see like, oh, these aren't found. They're made. So that's the concept. The jewels on his crown are essentially blood gems, is lore-wise what I'm going with. The swords that are grafted onto his greatsword are just the fallen warriors that he's defeated, and the commander standard is to represent his prowess, you know, his leadership in battle, his prowess and ability to lead his orcish army into battle. Now, why am I running this specifically? Well, turns out the grafted sword thing doesn't just give you extra stats and make the blade like give you that stamina bonus and all that. It also basically rolls back to patch 1.9. What does that mean? It means it gives you old poise values, so you can passively tank anything with that form of endure that you get off that sword, plus all the bonuses and buffs. So grafted sword in patch 1.10 actually slaps. I think it's my new favorite ultra greatsword, and I always liked it in concept but hated the fact that it sucked in like PvP or even in the game in general. Now it doesn't. Now it's good, and it pairs very well with commander standard with a true combo. A crouch poke into L1 is a true combo for way too much damage. Look at that. Look at that. And you can, if you have the right timing, you can probably roll catch on the R2. Oh my goodness. Absolutely disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. So like this setup just made me feel like I could dominate the competition. Like there were all the losses of this video that there were with the colossal axe. I don't think I actually lost with this setup, or if I did, it was maybe once or twice against like really good like meta sweat lords, okay? And I don't mean that pejoratively. I mean like that's how good they are of players. Other people would call them that for sure. I call them that because I'm a silly little goose. I'm a silly little guy, but I can acknowledge when like someone's just straight up better than me. And those are the ones who are beating me. Like this setup, this build feels like a crutch. And look at that. Did you see that passive poise? Maybe it was hyper armor. I don't know. But what I love about it too is that you can just swing. You can just swing into the land, and the L1 from the halberd comes out really quick. So it just feels like a weighted, meaty, strong build. And like character concept or like actual battle-wise, that's ridiculous. Who would fight with an ultra greatsword one-handed and a halberd one-handed? It would seem so awkward and impractical. But remember, this is an orc warlord, and this is about showmanship. This is about showing to his troops that I am that strong as your Orcish King, and we are as that strong as the Orcish Legion. This is someone who shows this is our strength, this is our prowess. You can be like me, and this is what makes us strong. This is what makes us win. So, you know, that was the idea. That was a whole character roleplay concept that I had in my head. So I hope you guys enjoy that. I know some of you might find that a little weird. It's like, does Buppo really, like, roleplay every single character he makes? Kind of. I mean, it is an action RPG. It is an action role-playing game, after all. So there's a little bit of that, but, like, that's how I have my fun. Like, having a super meta setup just to win, just to have, like, stats and whatever. Basically what my opponent is using right now, no offense to him. There's less fun of that for me. Like, it feels too cheesy. It feels too, It feels too much like I'm not playing a game for fun anymore, and I'm just playing a game to win. And, like, sometimes I do play the game to win. Like, right now, I am trying to win. I am trying to beat my opponent. But I'm basically just trying to beat them with, you know, with a funny little setup. And this is a strong setup. This is a strong setup. I think he's one of the players who beat me before. Again, not in the video, and I'm not gonna pretend like, oh, I'm unstoppable, I'm undefeated. Like, no, not at all. I'm just your average Souls tuber, honestly. I have that average level of skill. I might be on the bottom tier when it comes to skill level of these guys, or maybe I'm higher tier. Maybe I'm selling myself short. For those of you who have fought me, you can comment you can go in the comment section below and actually say how you know, how good I am, whether or not I'm actually good at the game. I know some Souls tubers I've fought, and I've got a win or two, but we also are in completely different regions, and they've gotten wins on me too, so, like, it's hard to say which one of us is better when there is lag, so that is one thing. But, you know, I'd like to think I can hold my own, but at the same time, I will never call myself good at this game, because I'm not trying to be good, I'm trying to have fun. I am still trying to win, but as you can see, this build is for fun, and you guys should try it. You guys should try the grafted, or even just an ultra greatsword and a poke halberd, like a halberd that can poke in the offhand. I think this meta, like this, well, not meta, but I think this setup can go a long way. Like a banished knight and a gugs, make it cold infused or something, or bleed infused. You might have something interesting on your hands. Maybe toxic on your hands, I don't know, but could be interesting. Could be neat. And you'd also have the benefit of having different Ashes of War, the accessibility of different Ashes of War. So I don't know. Give it a try. Let me know. Come back in the this comment section and harass me about it. You know, do what you got to do, homie. But yeah. And aside from that, Baldur's Gate, great game. Look, I'm going back to it. I have to mention it. If you guys like Dungeons and Dragons, I got to promote the game. I thought I would hate it. I've played it with a friend, and I'm like, no, this is my multiplayer game now. This is actually fun. And what better yet to fit the theme than to have an Orcish Conqueror, an Orcish Warlord. You know, just fun stuff. Now, to comment a little bit more, I went back to the axe for a little bit. I went back to the Godfrey axe, because I like the Godfrey axe. It is dependent on stamina. I think I forgot to put the Roar Medallion back on. So I am not using the Roar Medallion for this. But I will be dealing a little bit less damage. I might be misremembering. But yeah, I might have something else on it. I might have Crimson Amber Medallion. We'll see the medallions and all that at the end. I don't know if there was a lag spike there, but that was a little bit scary. I don't know if that was my video rendering program doing that. I don't know if that was Adobe or if that was in-game. I actually can't remember. It might have been in-game, and that might have been horrifying. But yeah, the trades, man. The hyper armor trades are just fun. So Godfrey Axe, not as good as the other setup, but I think I just had more fun with it. Look at that. Look at the range on that. That's so good. And yeah, role-playing the character guys may notice I don't have the same emotes on each character. My emotes are different on every character. The emotes I pick are part of the roleplay as well. So him nodding his head in approval is basically like the Orcish King essentially saying like, you fought well and you're a mighty warrior. That's the thing here. That's the meme. But yeah, speaking of someone who fought well and who is a mighty warrior, I believe we go toe-to-toe, me and him. Oh, I took that risk there. That carrion sword I was certain was going to hit me. But yeah, there are things that I like about this game. I like the hyper armor trades, but Miyazaki needs to fix all the glitches, man. Those are my final notes. Also, play Baldur's Gate 3. That's another thing. Fun times, funny memes. 10 out of 10. Would play again. Here are the stats on screen right now. As you can see, this is a heavy strength build with a lot of tankiness. Here are the talismans. So yeah, we switched for Shard of Alexander and Crimson Amber Medallion for that extra HP. Good night, guys. Take care. Have a good one.
Subscribe to Big Buppo's YouTube. You must. Or tickle your toes. I will.